So let's talk about citing sources. Let's talk about a works cited page at the end of your research paper in MLA format. Now remember, the reason why we cite our sources is so that other people can read our research, look at our bibliography, and see where our information came from, see whether it's credible information or not, and so that they can go on to read more about that topic if they are interested. So let's look at citing a book. When citing a book, you always want to start with the author's name, last name, comma, first name, period. Then the title of the book. Now the title should be italicized. If you're writing by hand, underline it so that your reader knows that's the title. The next piece is the place of publication. The place of publication should always be closest to your current location. In this case, it was New York. Name of publisher is next with a comma, followed by the year of publication. Now the last part here is the medium of publication, which is kind of a new feature for MLA 7, so you may not have seen that before. It just means that this particular book was in print form and not found online. When citing a book with two authors, you want to take the first author's last name, comma, first name, comma, and then the second author's first name, then last name. Everything else is the same: the name of the book, italicized, the place of publication, New York, colon, publisher, comma, year of publication, and then print, the medium of publication. But when you're citing a book with more than two authors, you want to take the first author's name and style it just the way you would if there was one author, but comma et al., meaning and others in Latin, to accommodate the other authors. And everything else is the same: title, publication information, etc. When citing an encyclopedia article, you first want to look at the segment that you're citing and see if it has an author. In this case, Hugh Brown wrote the section on stem cells from World Book Encyclopedia. If there is no author, write World Book, write the name of the publisher. In this case, stem cells is in quotation marks because it is a shorter work, it's not a full-length work, followed by World Book Encyclopedia, italicized because it is the name of the encyclopedia, the publication date, and the medium of publication. Let's look at citing a newspaper or magazine article 2. Here we have the author's name, last, comma, first. The title of the article is also in quotation marks, but here we have the name of the newspaper or magazine article italicized, just as if it were a book title. No punctuation here before we go into the publication date, which is day, month, and year, colon, and the page number, to be very specific so that you can let your readers find the exact article that you are citing, as well as the medium of publication. When citing a website, you might have to hunt around a little bit to find this information. It's not going to be so easy as the title page and verso of, say, a book or an encyclopedia. Here, your best bet is to look at the About section of a website and try to find the publication information. But usually when you find an article, it'll say at the top whether there is an author or not. In this case, we have Brian Marshall writing an article called How Boolean Logic Works, which is in quotation marks because it is a short article. The name of the website is How Stuff Works, which is italicized, again, because this is the title of the website, as if it were the title of the book, right? So it should be italicized. Discover is the name of the organization that published this particular article. Don't do anything to it, no italicizing, no underlining, just plain with a comma after it, and the date of internet publication or the copyright date. In this case, 10th December 2007, period, web, the medium of publication, right? We went from print and now we're onto the internet, so we're on the web. And the last thing you have to remember is to add the date that you visited the website. So let's look at citing a database article, which is a little bit more complicated, but essentially the same as citing a website. Again, author's last name, comma, first name, title of the article, quotation marks, nothing new there. The name of the periodical is Historical Journal, same as, say, New York Times, right? One of the other ones we were looking at. The publication year here is 2007 because it doesn't have a specific date. If it had a day and a month, we would put that in there. A colon, and then the page numbers, because a database article did have the page numbers, as it's really just a digitized version of a print article, right? The print article being from Historical Journal. Next, we have the name of the database. Here we have ProQuest. It could be World Book. It could be a Gale database, like Academic OneFile. Whatever it is, make sure it goes here after the page numbers and it is italicized. The medium of publication comes next, which is web, and finally the date you accessed the article. Let's talk briefly about the actual format of a works cited page. It should be labeled works cited and centered. Don't italicize the words, don't bold them, nothing. The whole page should be double-spaced, and you should also indent the second line of each citation. It's called a hanging indent, and we'll talk about that in class. Here's a sample works cited page here. Let's just make it a little bit bigger. This is up on Moodle for you to see and to reference while you're working on your works cited pages. It lists all of your sources in alphabetical order, as you see here on the side. Everything is double spaced. Everything has this hanging indent that we were talking about, right? All subsequent lines of a citation should have that hanging indent. Please remember that punctuation is important. Your periods, your commas, your colons, everything should be in order. If you have some trouble with that, remember you can refer to this video or the slides, as well as Purdue OWL, which we talk about in class. Your works cited page also should only include sources that you cite in your paper. You should not have any other sources that you looked at during your research unless you use them specifically in your paper. So they should match. Any references in your paper, any in-text citations, should refer to a citation in your bibliography. And your works cited page should definitely be in alphabetical order by author's last name, absolutely, every single time. Now give this a shot. All the information you need to handwrite a citation is right here on this title page. So remember, you need the author's name, you need the title, you need the location, the publisher, and the year that it was published. Give it a shot and put it in Dropbox.